Today's show is sponsored by Adventures Unlimited Press. Take your mind on a literary journey and go to adventuresunlimitedpress.com to purchase books from our famed experts right here on Truth Be Told. That's adventuresunlimitedpress.com.
What's your thoughts on government cover-ups or covert societies attempting to control humanity? Do you believe in ancient astronauts, intergalactic communication, or extraterrestrial visitations? Ever had an experience with disembodied spirits or the paranormal universe? Are these subjects fact or fiction? Each week, Tony and Eddie explore these unbelievable realities and beyond. Exclusively on Truth Be Told.
Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm your host, Tony Sweet, and with me now is world-renowned psychic Eddie Connor.
Hi, everyone. Guess what, Tony?
What's that?
Today we have two amazing women joining us in the house. One is from East Coast, and the other one lives right here in Los Angeles. Voxx the psychic descends from a huge long line of gifted psychics on both sides of her family, with lineages stemming from the Scottish clan the McBain, as well as the Strega. All of them are healers and mystics from southern Italy.
Voxx is internationally known for her incredible accuracy and for being an entertaining psychic. She is also featured as America's most accurate love and sex psychic in the book, America's Top 100 Psychics.
Ooh, I want to find out more about that. Voxx has also studied the psychic sciences from the age of 5 years old and was taught by her mother, who is also a gifted psychic. Voxx was born in Ethiopia, and she's lived in Saudi Arabia, Africa, and Europe. And guess what? She also lives here in Los Angeles. Everyone put your hands together and please welcome Voxx the psychic. More about that.
All right. Eddie!
Hey, Tony.
How you doing? And guess who's back with us? The
Super
one and
Voxx.
only Voxx the psychic!
Oh, it'll be like Voxx and Nova.
Hey, Voxx and Nova.
Also known as Voxorama.
That's right.
Oh.
Voxx, you looking good there, girl.
Thank
Check
you.
the Voxx you like the best.
Okay.
Well, we're using them all today. All right, so welcome to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie, and I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Tony Sweet, too.
All right.
And I'm not.
And you're better looking. Well, Voxx, you're coming back. It's been a couple months, but you're coming back in a time of Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
And I wanna get into a little bit of Mercury retrograde because we really haven't talked about it too much in the last few months since it hasn't been around in the last few months. But right now it's been a really tough Mercury retrograde, and I want to see, on your opinion, why are some Mercury retrogrades more intense than others?
And then we're going to ask you about sex stuff.
Oh, yay.
Okay, skip that. Let's just go to sex.
No,
right.
Mercury is good because Mercury retrograde can lead to bad sex.
Bad
I'll
sex?
I've read about this in
Well,
books.
I've lived it, and it can be either one. Here's the deal. There's 12 signs of the zodiac.
Right.
Each one of them, there's 3 fire signs, 3 earth signs, 3 air signs, and 3 water signs. So the first of each one of those elements, like Aries, Leo, Sag, it's like low, medium, high.
Right.
Low,
Aries,
medium.
Sag.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it depends on where Mercury is. Exactly.
Oh,
So-
in each chart.
Yeah. And not only in each chart, but where Mercury goes retrograde in general for everybody. Now, Mercury doesn't really go backwards, okay? Have you seen all those old-timey movies from the 20s and 30s where you have the spoked wheels and it looks like they're going backwards?
Oh, yeah.
It's a trick of the vision. And so some planets are moving a little bit, faster or whatever, and it's just an illusion. So things don't really go backwards, especially in space, thank God. But the illusion is there. And whatever sign Mercury goes retrograde in, whatever that house rules, or that planet, not the planet, but the sign rules, that's what's going to go to hell in a handbasket.
Okay. Do we know which one it was this time?
Oh, yeah. It was Mercury in Libra.
Hercules, I'm okay.
No, I'm
Oh, no,
Sag,
you're
you know.
not.
Oh, I'm not.
Because it depends on what house you have.
My Libra stuff in? Or
Exactly.
My
What's your rising sign?
Capricorn.
Oh,
Wait, I'm a Gemini.
Good Lord.
I'm a Capricorn moon and a Gemini rising.
Oh, dear God. I'm going through that one right now.
Don't let me go.
No, there's a friend.
Hold on for dear life.
There's a friend out there that has some similar energies like that with the Capricorn and the Gemini. He's going like nuts. And I have Capricorn and I have Gemini in my 6th house. But the deal is, so if you're Capricorn rising or Gemini rising?
Capricorn moon.
No,
Gemini rising.
forget the Capricorn moon.
Oh.
What's your rising sign? Gemini?
Right. Wait, Capricorn moon. Gemini rising. Yes.
Okay, so you have Gemini rising. Then you have the 2nd house be ruled by Cancer. The 3rd will be Leo. The 4th will be Virgo. And the 5th will be Libra. So let me know how weird your love life is right now.
Oh,
hello.
this is it. This is my love life. And
Your
by
right
the way,
hand.
this is the other one. I do believe in threesomes, and I can switch them out.
Ambidextrous, are we?
Yeah.
You know, they actually say that if you, God, I'm going to go there. If you pleasure yourself with the opposite hand that you write with, it's actually better because it's harder to do and it lasts longer. I said that.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
went
just
there.
you lose interest after a while. I was like,
it's the
Oh my
subject
God.
matter.
I'll have to send somebody in for you to take over.
That is true, though.
Yeah,
It
really
is true. Because for a minute, it's like, oh, somebody new is here.
Exactly. What's your name?
That's right.
My name is Manuel. That's Emmanuel, whatever.
Oh,
I did not see that coming.
Manuel
I'm
was
psychic. To be sideswiped by your own bad jokes. Oh my God. But anyway, so you've got Libra in your 5th house. 5th house is romance, creativity, children, gambling. So whoever you were dealing with or not dealing with,
Right.
it's been on the skids.
So creativity has been on the skits for me.
Yeah, it's been weird. Now, however, Mercury retrograde can bring up stuff from your past. Excuse me. So that means you can have old lovers, people calling you from the past, and the answer is
No.
only for a quickie. But then after that, just kick them out.
Okay.
Just kick them out. Obviously, use lots of protection. Wrap your whole body in saran wrap like Dexter. And just pray to God nothing seeps through. I cannot believe
No
my trashy
bodily
little
fluid.
mind today.
I love it though.
I think it's the retrograde.
Yeah,
I
we'll
do.
blame it on the
That's what I'm going
retrograde.
to do.
Blame it on the bossa nova, whatever. But so that's yours. And what's your rising sign?
I have no idea.
Oh my God.
I
I
don't
know.
I don't remember.
Okay, maybe we'll do a little check. If you text me the time of day you're born, and we'll work it out.
8:55 a.m.
And okay, what city and state?
Sedan, Kansas.
Okay.
Sedan. Wow.
What you should do? Text it to me on my
Okay.
text it to me on my phone, and I'll look it up when you guys are chatting and stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, and so in your natal chart, what's your birthday?
Aries, April 8th, 1961, 10 a.m.
Okay, so say if we're even just playing with it and we don't even know your rising sign. Libra rules your 7th house of what? Relationships, what we just said. So you're not going to get out of that, no way, hell. Forget it.
So it's actually better that I'm single.
For other people as well. I'm teasing, you know I love you. I can only say a bad joke like that to somebody I love, but because otherwise they would know and it would be a bad thing.
That's
So
hilarious.
let's go around the zodiac real fast.
Let's
so
do it. I wanna do it.
for people to figure this out. So say if you're Aries, mostly if you're Aries rising, but it can still apply to you if you're in Aries. So the retrograde in the sign of Aries, well, actually it's in Libra, but it will affect Aries by creating that tension in relationships. It can also bring up lawsuits, weird stuff like that. Anything to do with contracts. Not a good time for anybody to sign anything or do anything regarding relationships, like buying sex toys for your partner and then they hate it. Whatever.
They get electrocuted.
What batteries are you using? You're just using the plug-in AC/DC apparently, and that is a pun. AC/DC, very light one. And then if you have anything in Taurus, okay, the Mercury retrograde in Libra, how it will affect Taurus is basically the deal is that it's ruled in the house of Venus. Like Libra is a Venus sign, and so anybody's going to have a problem with that. Let's just say Mercury retrograde in the signs. I mean, just through the signs. Mercury retrograde, like dealing with Tauruses, will mess up your home. You'll probably have to pay like $10,000 on your Amex card because you forgot that you have to pay, by the month. It can mess up the situation with your kids. It can screw up your diet. In Gemini, you're screwed.
Oh, God.
Just forget about it. And you know what? I don't believe a word I'm saying. I try to live my life as if it's just a life with this extra information I have. And I try sometimes to just go against what I know to be true and also experientially. And I just get a pie in the face. And it's usually not chocolate. It's not even banana cream. It's just not even my flavor. So go against it sometimes. Try to live your life like, oh, who cares about retrograde? But you'll notice it.
Yeah,
You're not going to get out of it.
No.
So Mercury retrograde, how it deals with cancers, it will affect the home, the children, your levels of security. You might be buying one of those little tents on Skid Row. Yeah. But at least you can buy the best box on Skid Row.
Wow.
That's good. Mercury retrograde, how it deals with Leos. It creates problems with their creativity, people that may hire them for any creative jobs. It can give them writer's block. However, the good thing about that is it can bring up old ideas from the past. You say, oh, I'm kicking around that old story, about a mouse named Mickey. Oh, no, it's stupid. Hell, I think I'll write it. And ka-ching. So Mercury retrograde is not always a death sentence.
Oh, no.
It's not always a bad thing. What it does is it brings things back up. But you have to be judicious in deciding, do you really want to go that route again? Then in the sign of Virgo, we're screwed again because Mercury is the natural ruler of Virgo and Gemini. So when it's your ruler, it's like, getting a constant busy signal or getting blocked on Facebook from your favorite person or whatever. It's just you can't make it through. It's just very difficult. And that will affect your work, your ability to concentrate, all of those things. Disorganization that can lead to problems with your money. And, of course, Mercury retrograde in Libra, forget the relationships. I mean, it's just going to be a challenge. I'm not saying it's doom and gloom, but, man, it's like working hard for a job that you're not getting paid for.
Wow.
It's like, who needs to work on your relationship 8 hours a day after you get home?
I know, because them high heels on Sunset, they hurt.
I guess you haven't gotten those little gel cushions.
Well, he does, but that's for other things.
Oh, I see.
Dr. Scholl's.
For men. And then we got Mercury retrograde, how it deals with Scorpio. Oh, that you got your serial killers. I've always meant to kill that bitch in apartment number 56. Okay, woo, let's climb in through the back window. Why are you laughing? That happened last month. Some poor lady.
Did it really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I read. Excuse me, Tony. I read the news as well as make it.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
And then Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, another difficult time because Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, which are your opposite side, like Gemini and Sagittarius. They're at opposite odds, and I call it the full moon effect, even though there's no full moon.
Wow.
It's that big tug of war, and so you're getting a triple whammy, and I'll tell you about that in one more second. But then Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, it can make all your real estate deals fall through. You could get rubbed out by the mob.
Oh,
I mean. Capricorn rules
rubbed
the
out.
heavy stuff. You and your sexual mind rubbed out.
I'm an Aries. I want a mob to rub me out.
and you may get your wish. I might bonk you on the head with my magic wand. And then
Now
fairy
who's
dust.
sexual?
And then Mercury in Aquarius makes like your computers explode and blow up, and you hit the button, it erases your contact list because Aquarius rules the higher octave of Mercury, and that's like rock music, loud sounds, loud construction, again contacts. It also rules electricity, power going out various places. And then the final one, Mercury retrograde, dealing with the Pisces energy, that just sends you right to the bottle. Just forget it. Just get your Jack Daniels out. Just put like a baby nipple over it because that's pretty much where it's going for that. Yeah. Thank you, Tony.
Disgusting.
No, it's not. Actually, it's pretty sexy. I'll see you after the show.
All right, thank you very much.
Now, Saturn just entered. Saturn just entered Sagittarius on December 23rd, 2014, essentially killing somebody that I really loved. Just boom, just knocked him right out. Then it went forward for a while and then went retrograde for a couple of months. It just went back direct a few days ago. And what that's going to do is like you might have a squeaky toy in the driveway and you back over it and it goes, and you go, oh my God. And then you run over it again to see what you ran over. And then you realize, oh, I ran over something, and there's no way that you can get out except running it back over one more time. That's Mercury retrograde.
Okay. Oh.
And it's also any retrograde. So Saturn was retrograde while Mercury was retrograde.
God.
You definitely noticed it.
Oh
didn't you?
God, it was like the worst I've had
You
in forever.
and I haven't even spoken in like a month and a
Yeah,
half. So, you would wonder why. Of course, you've got a great psychic over here, but you can always call me. I'm not going to charge you.
Now I have no excuse because she's programmed herself into my phone. Thank you
I am
so
known
much.
for that. So you got a double whammy. I'm surprised you're still smiling.
Underneath, I'm
that's
crying.
that's how he does.
Crying
Yeah.
inside. I
Yeah.
mean, that's that acid feeling inside like you're crying.
Well, that's what I was telling. I told Eddie. I said that it's not just technical; it's the people. I've never. It was showing the true senses and abilities and lack of anything about humanity.
Certain people.
Yeah, certain
Yeah.
people,
Not
not
all
all,
of
not all.
humanity.
But
Yeah,
it was
obviously.
just. I've
It's
never so many at once. I mean, you have one or two, but it was just multiple people.
And that just is a testament to your charm and just letting lots of people in. Like you're America, you were letting them all in.
Come on in.
Or maybe you're Germany. I don't know. But the deal is all of a sudden they're there. And over time, you start noticing who they really are. And it can be painful and very sad. And don't take it personally, whatever you do. But this is kind of annoying. I'll have to check your chart out because Saturn's going to be there for 2.5 years.
But during the retrograde, here's what I love about retrograde, and I could be completely full of crap. But what
You're
I
not.
have learned through the retrograde, I used to dread it. I love retrogrades now for two reasons. If there's something really, 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 really wrong with my car and they can't find it, if there's something really, really wrong with my body and they can't figure out what it is, or if there's something really off in a certain relationship I have, Mercury retrograde always exposes the truth. It brings it up. And so some people that I've known certain people in my life for 40 years, certain people that I talk to regularly, and got to see a side of them in this retrograde that I've never seen before.
Because that's the relationships.
That's the truth, and it's the
Yeah.
relationships, and it's how they've been really underneath. And what you see up here is different than what came out. And it wasn't my fault, and I don't take responsibility for it and try to fix it like I used to.
Yeah, I'm over
and that
that.
created a whole new set of dynamics. And so people expose their subconscious
sure do.
truth during retrograde, and this has been a more magnified version of that, I find.
Now you're lucky because actually it tends to be the other way around. Like you get
Really?
involved with people and that you fall for the illusion and all that stuff, and then retrograde goes over and you go, "What the hell? I've been making love with my stuffed teddy bear this whole time. What?" Time to
Just
get a
out
new
of
teddy bear.
curiosity, what was in it? Was it those little styrofoam balls?
No, I had the organic back in the old days.
That's the
yeah.
good kind of teddy
Yeah,
bear.
the
Oh,
fuzzy.
look at that face. Yeah.
There's only so far you can go with those little styrofoam
But
beads.
that's not. I mean, it's realistic news for Sagittarians. And here's the other deal. Remember, whatever sign or opposite planet
Right.
is dealing with that Saturnine quality. So in this case, Geminis are really going through the ringer. So it's not just you, because Saturn is an actually opposition of
Right.
the ruler of their sign, which is Mercury. So it's crazy. So Geminis and Sagittarians have to deal with a lot of stuff right now. And it can also affect Virgos and Pisces, because what happens is those signs make a square and technically a cross when you have all four. And during certain seasons that you'll find it. And right now, some of those people are just having a T-square. If you look at a T-square, what that is, it's like two squares.
Yeah.
And it makes life very uncomfortable. Doesn't mean it's bad. Those are actually some of the greatest times that you can grow as an individual. It really is. And that's why they call them growing pains, not growing pleasures, So it forces you to pay attention through that uncomfortability. Like, oh, yeah, you can't zip your pants up. Time to go for a diet instead of going out and buying extra jumbo. Yeah, it's until basically you become one of those people that they have to wheel out
I need to call
with,
Omar, the tent
with
maker,
a crane.
to make me an eating dress. That's where I'm at now. Honest to God, you notice I
don't
keep
see
pulling
it.
my blouse. Well, that's because
I don't.
my middies are hiding my stomach.
Well, okay, there you go. You and Kim Kardashian, your Spanx.
Yeah,
You know?
mine would be a beating, not just a spank.
Yours will be explosion.
So
No, I'm teasing.
with Sag, I think you said Sag and Virgo
No, Sagittarius and Gemini, because they're
are
the
the
opposite.
two that are going through the ringer with the Mercury retrograde. So if I'm a
Yes.
Gemini rising,
You're getting it.
yeah,
Yeah. 2.5 years, but thank God.
2.5 years.
Yeah, that's how long it's going to take to get out of there.
When did we start? Thursday.
Remember, December
December
23rd,
last
and
year.
I said it went forward a little bit, then it went retrograde and went back into Scorpio. You heard all that stuff about the head chopping parties from ISIS. That's what all that stuff was. People, drop kicking their babies off a bridge. I mean, that's Saturn and Scorpio.
Wow.
That's just
That's
deadly.
evil.
Deep.
Deadly.
Depressive.
What happened today? Yesterday, school shooting.
Yeah.
I started predicting that stuff December 25th, 2006, because of some aspect. I went, oh my God, we're going to get all these school shootings. You're going to watch it. It was on my blog. You can't refute it. And then over time, it's almost become de rigueur. It's like, okay, here's another one.
That's awful.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
said 15 since Obama's taken office, or 25, 15, 25, something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't think it has anything to do with him.
I
No,
don't-
I'm just saying.
yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I
they
know you didn't.
But they said in the news that he's had to make this same statement like 15 or 25 times, whatever it was. And that's why I was like, wow, you don't realize how many until.
It's called like a monitor situation. Like nobody can do like a metal detector. Hello. They're going to have them in movie theaters, all kind of stuff. And I actually, this is going to be a crazy prediction. Screw movie theaters over time because it's all going to be Netflix and chill, y'all.
There's something about us old school folk, though.
Don't you dare call me old school.
I like me a
Damn
movie.
it, hell.
I took myself to a movie the other day by myself. Me and Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro and a big old box of popcorn. Cut me a hole in the bottom of the bag. I enjoyed myself.
I'm sure you did with the extra butter.
Well, you have to have the extra butter.
It goes without saying.
Disgusting.
This
You
show
sound like
is
a
it.
cat. That
You sound like Anthony Hopkins with the fava beans.
Except it's Tony Sweet with jelly beans.
I'm
That's
just eating
the-
my jelly beans over here.
That ain't
jelly
no
bellies.
damn jelly bean. You're not pulling that one. I cannot believe where this show has gone. Right
know.
straight
Oh.
into the Pornhub.
I'm blushing.
No,
I'm
you're
blushing.
not. You're not. That is not possible. I don't think.
So why does it change people's attitude, personalities, though, to show the true self? What is it about it? Because I don't feel like
Exposed.
like Eddie hasn't. Is it certain people? Well, I mean, I don't feel like I've changed other than being a little more bitchy.
But that's because
that's-
you've taken on this incredible
Right.
job and you're having to do all this extra
But
work.
why are they exposing themselves?
I don't think, you know what? I don't think they have. I think you're psychic.
always-
Dealing with psychics, you're starting to see a little deeper because they've
okay.
always been the same.
Actually, somebody the other day said, I don't see it. And I was like, did you not hear what that? And I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
So that makes sense.
So clairvoyance and clairaudience, it's an ability. Since you're dealing with so many psychics now, there's no way it's not rubbing off on you.
Right.
Not that you didn't have it to begin with, because I know that you did, or we wouldn't have started this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So being around that level of hypersensitivity and paying attention to how other people are getting their information, you're just kind of peeling the stuff off a little bit, and maybe you're not even doing that. I think that their masks are kind of dissolving, and you're like, what the hell? And so you're almost even getting verbal information in your head, like, he's full of it. I can't believe this guy.
I hear that all the time.
And then all of a sudden, you look at this beautiful, hot person, and they're like, they're kind of ugly. Well, he's got too much plastic surgery. What the hell?
I do
And
that.
you're starting to see the reality, and the illusion is just fading, and there's a sadness to that. Like,
There is.
There is. And I love when you're saying this because the image I get is you're picking up some. They might be beautiful looking, and as you're looking at them, you're feeling their insecurity,
Right.
And you can't hide that. Sincerity
yeah.
speaks volumes, but insecurity within a person, it comes through loud and clear.
in fact,
It's sad.
that's a weird thing that I think it's a gift that God gave me. Thank you, God, in the highest. When a person would sit down in front of me, the one thing I see first is the one thing they're trying to hide the hardest. And it's weird. I sat down with a psychiatrist one day. My oldest sister is a psychologist, and a really great one. And she brought this woman in with her husband, and she sat down in front of me, and I was just like, just trying to read her. And all of a sudden I got this splitting headache, and I saw this gray cinder block wall. I've never seen it since. And it's like I banged my head into it. And I'm like, ow. Like, God, I can't see a damn thing. I says, like, it's just like a gray center block wall. And she goes, oh, yeah, well, I was envisioning that because I was just going to see, like, what you were going to tell me. I'm like, bitch, get out of the chair. Let your husband sit down. Her husband's just this, regular guy. I go, so who's Frank from New York City? Oh, that's my dad. And who's Poughkeepsie? Oh, that's my puppy from, when I was 11 years old. I just nailed every detail. I mean, again, thank you, God, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying he was open.
Yeah.
So you don't go to a psychic to find out if they're real or not.
Right.
Oh,
that's a waste of time. Yeah.
Wasting your money. Like, because I'm not giving you a refund, lady. I'm sorry. That's in the small print. It's like, come in here to get healed. I'm not going to read your mind. I could do that, as we all know, but that's not going to predict your future.
That's right.
Don't you want to find out where you're going instead of where you've been? Well, you didn't tell me my grandmother's middle name. It's like, don't you know it?
Snap, crackle pop. That I love that you're talking about that.
I love that.
Because why do people do that? I'll ask them, why are you wasting your time, my time, your money, your energy when you could literally have an unbelievably wonderful experience?
You really can.
Or you can also knock it out of the ballpark. Everything is a wow. They're literally just boo-hooing tears of joy. And then they'll go, well, my dead grandmother would have said today was my birthday. And it's like they'll hold on to that one piece for whatever kind of little justification. But it's belief system. It goes back to how people are wired and how they sabotage themselves or not, or leave their heart open or not.
I got a funny one for that, too. It's way back in the day. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, you went to Mount Everest, and you skied down, Kanchenjunga, and you, met Chanel, and, blah, 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 your favorite, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I said, and your favorite color is blue. No, it's not. And you mean all that other crap I said was true? But this little tiny thing,
It's gonna
you just want to bitch slap her gently, psychically on the astral realm.
with love.
Let me slap you with love.
Let me take a brick out of that concrete wall from the first client and make you a concrete sandwich.
That's hilarious.
You need a sound effect.
So
Snap, crackle, box.
So both of you are, you've been doing readings for how long, Eddie?
25 years.
And Voxx, how long have you been doing?
My whole life, but that doesn't mean they were any good. Since I was about 11. And they got better and better. Thank you, Lord. And people just started throwing money at me. People go, oh, what did you do to decide to become psychic? I'm like, I'm trying to actually be a musician and a poet and all this other stuff. And people keep asking me stuff. And then, it's like in the ballpark. Again, thank you, God, in the highest. And then they'd throw money at me. And that was the first time I ever did a reading. I read some woman's astrology chart. She just paid like $150 to get this thing done. And this was before they had actual reports. Mm-hmm. And I was like a teenager. And I said, hey, I'll tell you what I think. And then I spent 2 hours with her. And she just threw $100 at me. And I said, oh, I wasn't charging you. She said, well, you should. And so with that, I was like, okay, that's God telling me, all right.
And that was back in the day of the ephemerists.
Oh, yeah,
and the big books, and you had to go through all of this. It's like research.
I can't believe I gave mine to a friend. But then because I have it now on my phone, it's like a brick, a huge brick. And I used to have all kinds of stuff. And the ephemerist, for people who don't know, it's a huge book that tells you for 100 years where every single planet and asteroid or node has been every second of the day.
Mm.
For 100 years.
Yeah.
Really?
You can get them for 2,000. On my phone, I've got one for like 2,000 to 3,000 years.
Wow.
We can go back there and I can tell you all about Marco Polo. I mean, the discovery of America. That would actually be a fun show.
That would be a fun show.
That would be fun. And how he wore those tight pants and rode those horses.
Oh, and how they smelled.
I couldn't imagine.
I can't believe we have a population. Can you imagine how people smelled back then?
Oh, my God.
French people
get away from me.
But they all smelled.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the rich.
No. Well, the rich just covered it up with perfume. Like, all right. Pss, pss, pss. And did you know, like, a good 95% of the people shaved their head?
Oh, because of lice?
Yes, because of lice. And then they used to have to powder even
in the wigs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. And then they would powder the wigs. Yeah. Yeah. The weird stuff I know.
That's the stuff. I love that stuff, though. That's the stuff that fascinates me.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. 30 seconds, 25. No, let's do 15. And when we come back, we have a lot more to talk with Voxx the Psychic, and you can go to her website, voxthepsychic.com.
Yeah, VOXXTHEPSYCHIC and or Voxx.org, VOXX.org.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
All
fancy
right,
pants.
we'll be right back. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie, and I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm not.
And you're not? We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by Adventures Unlimited Press. Take your mind on a literary journey and go to adventuresunlimitedpress.com to purchase books from our famed experts featured right here on Truth Be Told. That's adventuresunlimitedpress.com. Now, back to the show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Tony Sweet.
And I'm Tony Sweet.
And we're here with Voxx the Psychic. You can find her more information about Voxx at voxthepsychic.com. That's VOXX thepsychic.com or voxx.org.
VOXX. Neither X is silent, as they say.
Hugs.
Where did Voxx come from?
Actually, it's one of my real legal names.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and I put an extra X on there for numerological purposes.
But does it stand for something like
Yeah, Vox is the Latin word for voice, which explains why I never shut up for 5 minutes. Be careful what you call yourself, my friends. Oh, my
that's
God.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's unfortunately true.
And but Eddie, I know you, like you said, we were talking about you've been a psychic for, or at least professional
working,
psychic and working psychic for 25 years. Now, and this will go to Voxx too, but the people that you read for, and we've talked about this before, when people come to you, what is the use of finding out information about your past to heal the future or heal you currently? So why should I? Because we want to know about what our future holds, but what about our past is it that can heal us?
From when I tune into somebody, first of all, everybody really just wants to know about their future when they come for a reading. What will often come through in a reading is where their belief systems, their shortcomings, their contradictions were born, and it's always in their childhood.
Right.
And it's usually 7 years old and under. And often it's something they'll come in as a soul to learn to get over young so that they can beat the belief system as they get older. But if, let's say, you're wanting to expand your radio station and you're wanting to be a millionaire, and if that's what you're asking for, then I'll tune in and see the trajectory of what your money looks like and your career looks like and anything else you ask me about. And I will go back in time and say, well, you know, when you were 4 years old, someone told you to get off your high horse and to be seen and not heard. And you walked around, you believed that was good behavior. You believed that's what success would bring you if you kept your mouth shut and didn't speak your truth. And every time an authority figure in your life today pops up and you perceive that they have more authority or knowledge than you do, you will trigger that little keep your mouth shut and do what I tell you to pattern. And so I will address that pattern and then show you what it looks like and how to get out of the pattern, and then give you a new prediction of what your life would look like if you actively cut that pattern loose, acknowledge it, have control over it so it doesn't control you, and then have a whole new lease on life. That's how it works for me.
That's great. What about you, Voxx?
Well, it's very, very similar. How I've looked at it over time was that I am in a helicopter, and I can see you're going to Grandma's house. And I'm like, oh, wolf behind tree number 3. Let's find a different way to go. That's a simplistic the idea. But people come in, and then apparently, I mean, I use their astrology chart and all that stuff. But even if I don't have that, I'll just say, okay, here's where you're at. This is where you're going, based on also the tarot as well. And say, this sucks. So the way you're doing it isn't going where you want it to go. And intuitively, I feel where you would be successful and how you will achieve what it is that you're trying to do. So it's almost like algebra. I know where you're at. I know where you're trying to go, but you're not getting there from here. So let's change this. And that's easier said than done. Because people, I mean, they don't really want to know how to change. They just want to know how to keep eating hot fudge and wear a size 2.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. At some point, you have to apply the information, apply the theorem. And I really see it as math. You do this thing, and you're going to get this result. And I can see, I've actually told a person, oh, I can see you're not going to listen to me. Oh, well, that was a waste of money. Okay, and then they come back maybe 2 more times, and I don't remember what I told them. And they go, you said the same thing. You told me a guy named Mark that's coming in on May 1st. I mean, just detail ridiculous. I'm saying, well, apparently you didn't do a damn thing I said. So let's just go back. And sometimes if they wait too long, that ship has sailed. And different times I've seen somebody coming into somebody's life and they're not ready. Some other times I see a ship coming in, and when it gets closer, I'm like, whoa, pirates, get the hell out.
Yeah.
So just because you see somebody coming in doesn't mean they're the one.
Right.
And I don't even believe in the one. I believe in the several ones. I've had 7 soulmates. And I say, you get a soulmate, run for the damn hills. Because soulmates, in my personal experience, it doesn't mean it should cloud everybody else's experience. Every time I've met a soulmate, they've taught me something, and usually the famous Voxx saying is, sometimes the thing you learn in life is, I didn't need to learn that lesson. That was painful, So different kind of things. You see or feel where a person is, where that you can sense where they want to go, and they're not getting there the way they're doing it. And your job is to gently convince them, lovingly convince them, say, if you don't listen to me, you're not going to even get out of the box. So, not that your butt looks fat in those pants, but these pants are so much more slenderizing. It's called NLP, people.
Comfortable.
Neuro-linguistic programming. So there's a way to say something to somebody to make them more interested in doing what you want them to do because you see that they need to do this. And also, how I look at it, they're putting food on my table. They're putting the clothes on my back. I owe every single person that comes to me something important, my life, my livelihood. So there is something in it for me. On my website, nowhere does it say for entertainment purposes only. I'm like, bitch, bring it on. This is the real deal, What are you going to do, complain about it? It's crazy. So I agree with you over there, Eddie, and very much the same kind of visuals, and we're here to hopefully break some cycles, and it's not easy. I'm right in the middle of breaking a huge one. Oh my God. I just met a new friend that was reacquainting me with some of my old practices with Tibetan Buddhism. And apparently one of my biggest challenges is attachment. And like the Buddha says, attachment is just going to bring you sorrow because everything's going to change. And as long as you're trying to keep holding on to some old thought pattern, it's just going to drag you through the gravel. So you just got to let go and just use your own psychic abilities on yourself. And that's the biggest challenge for a psychic.
It sure is. To
Really?
do a reading for yourself. Oh, yeah. We don't
Have you
walk
ever
around.
done it, though?
Oh, I have many times, but I
Did
don't
you stare in
listen.
the mirror or something?
No, you ask the question and the answer comes to you. You're driving the car, you're washing dishes, whatever.
Because I've heard other psychics say, oh, yeah, I can't do it.
Well, because we know our shit.
Yeah.
And we know what our stuff is.
And we can do it.
Yeah, we can.
We can. People say, how do you read yourself? And I say, I'm brutally honest.
Yeah.
Brutally. It's painful how honest I am with myself. I do like a laundry list every single day. I go, that doesn't mean that I get through it any easier, but at least I'm conscious of it. And this latest challenge is just like, oh my God. And this really lovely, innocent type person, just very pure. I don't mean stupid. But a really cool person is just like making me look at myself and go, oh my God, I thought I just gave away $25,000 worth of furniture. I got rid of my house. I got rid of all my clothes. I'm living in a music studio somewhere. I thought I was doing this total ascetic thing, and then I realized that's not the non-attachment.
Right.
The non-attachment is through people. It's like, darn.
And I think that non-attachment piece gets activated when somebody we love dies. And part of the grieving process is that too. But when they physically leave the planet, it throws a lot of people into chaos and greed.
Oh, God.
And lying, cheating, stealing, because they want to hold on to something physically that gives them a space again with the person who's physically left the planet.
I just lived through that too.
Oh, girl.
But can it also be opposite? Well, you know how
it can be.
Like, remember when like Liberace's mother died, and his boyfriend was like, how you doing? He said, free.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I wasn't expecting him to say that. But you know how like the
and it
death
can sound
sometimes
crass, but it's true. I lost my father recently, and it's just up and down, and it's just crazy. The cool thing about being psychic, though, and No, I'm not psychotic. I got tested. My father talks to me constantly.
My mom does.
I mean, just as if they were standing there.
Yep.
I'll say, so Dad, should I keep this? He goes, burn it, trash it, which is what I would also know that he would say, but he's really saying it. I'm like, whoa.
But does that make it easier?
Yes, it
does. Thank God.
Oh my God.
I think if I didn't have that connection, I think I would be.
We don't want to talk about
Yeah.
where you'd be.
Yeah,
No.
it wouldn't be
It would
good.
it would be very sad.
But on the same turn, in the same vein that Tony's asking about psychics reading themselves, I've had this thing happen, and it happened literally just yesterday, and it happens about once a year. And I was between appointments, and I always meditate between appointments or take a nap, whichever comes first.
Always.
And I'm laying there, and I've got the music on, and I'm like just focusing on light and love. And this literally happens about every year of my life. And it was a kind of a voice that's not human, but it's not scary. And it just goes, Eddie Connor, right to the right of me. And it's happened since I was a little kid. And it's always a different voice. It's outside of me. It is not inside of me like we hear clairaudient.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, I don't know who that is. Let's see if we can find out. If you tap these cards 3 times with your right hand, just so you put your energy on it. If I had to say, with your permission, who might I intuit that is? Wow. It's somebody that really disciplined you really intensely in another life, like a king, like if you had a royal father or a priest or somebody who's really hardcore. You got the Tower card. In case we are looking with the camera, it's hardcore. However, the impetus is love.
Wow.
2 of Cups. So they're trying to save your ass. Now, let me tell you what I know about the right side. Whenever you get the voice coming from the right side, you know it's helping you. It's an angel. I found that out many years later. And remember Bugs Bunny? He'd have the
little devil
angel and
yeah.
the little devil.
Yeah.
Man, is that true?
It is true.
And the left side, rules the opposite side of the body. And technically, back in the day, the right side was considered the righteous. Righteous, right? The right side. And the left hand, there are some group of magicians that follow what they call the left hand path, which is sexual, really kind of demonic. They're going the other side to find their freedom and their sublimity. So the stuff that comes from the left side tends to be the mischievous, like, oh, come on, eat that chocolate cake, or, oh, come on. Just like the devil's like, if you worship or you kiss my feet, I'll deliver you from the crucifixion,
For a minute.
Exactly. That's what they say. But so those things, and that's I think is really powerful. And I always love it when you answer first, because it's like, yep, that's exactly.
Wow.
Instead of us going, yeah, he's right, or yeah, she's right. It's like, no, he's totally right on, and that's my own personal experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's been like that my whole life. That's fascinating to me.
That is fascinating.
I like how the left brain, there's so many people now living from the neck up. And whenever you were describing the right brain, how the information comes, for me particularly more on that side, I find that the right brain not only feels right, it is tied into your heart and your gut.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these two, when they are in harmony with the way you think, you're going to be a rock star.
Yeah.
But when these are out of balance with the neck and up, you can just keep on pushing that boulder up Mount Everest all you want to.
And those are 2 of the chakras too. The Manipura chakra, which is the solar plexus, which is ruled by the sun, and it rules ego. And then the heart chakra, which is obviously your love and emotion, your divinity, your ability to love yourself and others. And I agree, when they're in harmony, boom, you can really do no wrong. Now, this is like a quick study for anybody out there. This is my own little thing that I found, and you probably know it too. It's called the gut feeling. You ask a question, does so-and-so love me? Your stomach rises like butterflies. Yep. Does so-and-so love me? You're wasting your time, or nope. Forget it. Maybe not forever, but you can just read things very simply like that. Just a quick yes or no to tune in. Now, you can't be successful or correct if you're manipulating, oh no, my stomach felt great. Yeah, it was rising. Bull.
Therefore, you keep lying to yourself about stuff.
Exactly.
That same exact voice, that was the voice that when our bus was going across sort of a cliff or a precipice that was just being freshly made.
Uh-oh.
And I'm just looking down like, wow, that's a long way down. And the construction workers are chomping at their fingernails like this, watching the bus trying to make it across.
Oh my God.
And off the right side, which is weird because I was against the window, so there's no way.
You're going to make
It was not from in the bus. There were no men on the bus. It was a woman driver, and we were in elementary school.
Well, you're screwed right there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Woman driver.
And the bus, and the voice said, "Leave school after lunch today," just as clear as a bell. And I was like looking around to see who else heard it, and I knew no one heard it. And then it just sort of, you know how kids are, I'm like looking back out the window again and lost in thought. And about 5 minutes later, it came back, "Leave school after lunch today." And I had a person in my life, I'm not going to say who she is because we all know who she is.
The bus driver.
Where I went to someone's home, and she was, she was doing whatever she was doing. That's all I'll say. And I literally watched this thing go right across her face, and her eyes turn brown.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my God, you could see it. I mean, you could feel it, but you could see it. And that's unfamiliar to me. And now she's calling me a different name. She's talking in this real weird voice, like she's from Paranormal Activity for convalescents. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God.
That's a show right there.
And I was so uncomfortable. And so I reached to help her up. And on this side again said, "Don't touch her." And I was like, okay. And now I'm really uncomfortable. Another 3 or 5 minutes is going on. She's calling me different names, sexual innuendos. And I knew it wasn't her. And then I, again, am uncomfortable. And I went to help her up. And it said, "Don't effing touch her." And I didn't. And then about another few minutes, it went away.
Right.
And then she started calling me by my name and took on her own personality again.
Wow.
Girl, so that helps me understand.
Was that a possession?
It sounds kind of like at least a transitory one, or something was flowing through her.
Yeah.
And something was flowing through her because it wanted to attach itself to you. That's a feeling that I get. Because as psychics, we can, and I have, and I hate to say it, but I have been possessed and I have been obsessed. And there's a difference. And I'm not talking about Pazuzu and split pea soup and all that stuff. But I have accidentally, through somebody else's manipulation of me in certain magical practices. And you got to keep it cool. You got to do your prayers. That's another show.
Yeah, the prayer. That's a big show.
Well, I was asking Eddie earlier about like possession and demonic. But possession, is it that easy for a spirit to enter another body that quickly?
Let me put it to you this way.
How
Ever have a broken heart? Well, they can come in through any kind of emotional low, extreme low that you're having, or desire, and then they feel that desire. That they fill that hole, just like, fat people and donuts. And,
I love me some donuts.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It fills something in that person. And an obsession can just be like something kind of crosses your mind. And I have to say, recently I got obsessed by some situations, and I noticed it, and I was like, oh my God, you got to pull yourself out of this. This is ridiculous. Just, it doesn't matter how psychic, how powerful, how magical, how famous, whatever, knock on wood. Certain people that you bump into also astrologically can just, sideswipe you and bedazzle you, or create an illusion that's something that I want, and that brings out the attachment again. So basically, obsession, possession, they're two different sides of the coin. Possession is much worse. And I will say, for the record, this is really important actually. There's a whole faction of people that are calling themselves Roman Catholic priests, and they're not. Some of them got kicked out of seminary school. And I'm starting to wonder why they called it seminary school. But that's a whole other show.
And then while they stand in the pulpit.
Pull your pit. Okay, whatever. We're going there again. But anyway, where was it going with this? The basic attachment. So as far as possession is concerned, what I've noticed is it's not real, most of it. I know I was talking about the priests. And there's a whole bunch of them on the internet, and they say they're from the new Roman Catholic Church. There's no such thing. And these are people that are charging money or projecting that they're actually doing physical exorcisms.
Oh.
Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. It's BS, and I'm telling you right now. There's no, come on, if you're possessed, whatever. Yeah, why would I want to, deny you that? But I will also say 99.9 people that say they're possessed are full of it, and they're not. And how come, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's part of my scholarly occult research. I've been dealing with demonology for like over 25 years, very, very, very intensely, and also angelology to balance it out. Every single movie that's ever coming out, every person that claims to have been possessed, it's always by Baal or Abalim or Belial or Beelzebub. You know, cross our fingers, we don't evoke them, but you can't. It's actually kind of an involved situation to even conjure or have communication with those spirits to find out what they're all about. So most of these people are full of it. They saw a bad movie. They saw Amityville Horror. It's bull. I'm sorry. And God bless you if you really are possessed. Good luck with that, because hardly anybody ever really does a real
I was going to say, if it's so rare, so is it? What makes those particular people that do get possessed?
It can be a variety of things, like, say, a tainted object or a cursed object or a really ancient object that has been used in any kind of infernal or serious rites that involved blood or sacrifice. So, yeah, you could bump into an object like that. Very, very rare, as you know. And you could go across certain places on the earth that might have been cursed by ancient flood of blood in battles and picked up stuff like that. But it's so rare. Don't tell me you're possessed. I'm just not going to believe it. Now let's do an experiment over here. Here's a card, like, say, meditate on what a card looks like somebody really possessed out of a deck of 78 cards, totally at random, and somebody who thinks they're possessed. Possessed, basically, a lot of people that are near death or extremely depressed.
Yeah.
That just have lost the will to live, make themselves completely open to that kind of situation. And this is not, as you notice, this is not even an ugly or bad or evil-looking card. It's the Four of Swords, Jupiter and Libra, and it indicates kind of a death and a possibility, a mild possibility of recuperation. And it also shows a loneliness, a cosmic loneliness inside that almost reaches out for any or everything that could fill it.
Yeah.
And that, you would expect a really bad card from that. And again, the bottom card is love. So somebody's seeking out some kind of inner completion. And they're willing to say, hey, anybody come on in, just fill this hole, you know? And a card that shows a person thinking that they're possessed. This shows guilt. The Princess of Discs shows somebody that might have burned a candle, played with a Ouija board. And in essence, it's not even really guilt. It's they think that they have been, you know, in proximity of a great evil.
Oh,
wow. Or they think that their behavior is bad because they were taught it was bad, even though it's normal, and they keep believing that negative thing. Like, that's
an aspect of it,
yeah.
Yeah. But mostly this here is, the Princess of Discs is usually a card that will come out with somebody that's done some level of magic, like, Bloody Mary, walked through the haunted house, had sex in a pentagram. I mean, all kinds of weird things.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. But this here is like a person's hidden level of guilt or their hidden activities have made them feel they were susceptible. Wow. So I get it, why they think they might be possessed. But I'm telling you, if you could be possessed that easily, I would, God, they probably would have made a movie about me by now with Steven Spielberg and houses exploding. But obviously, it's really not that easy to get possessed. It's much more easy to get obsessed.
Yes, it is.
So
it's rare that I do, but I have.
Obsessed.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly mine's been of food.
Mine's
back
been
in
food.
the day.
Really?
And back in the day.
Yep, mine too.
And of actually, it was food, and then it was exercise.
Well, yeah, because you could eat more if you exercise. I guess that's the reason.
Yeah.
Now, food, a lot of times you get addicted to food, and I've had food addictions and things like that. Thank God it wasn't drugs or alcohol.
That's what I kept telling myself.
Thank you, Lord.
Workaholism and food for me.
Yeah.
With sugar specifically.
Yeah. So thank God it was that, because that's something you can control. But it also, those kind of addictions lead obviously to the mother, because food in astrology is ruled by the stomach and the breast.
Right.
And what does that make you think of? The mother.
Yeah.
Sweets and creamy food. You check out the kind of foods that you really go for, like comfort foods. Those are all the things that make you feel like you're home. So the food becomes a substitute for that love that you are missing, and a certain kind of love, not just sexual love, but that fuzzy, warm, bunny slipper kind of love.
I know that's why I like ice cream.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have it. We didn't have money for stuff like that. So just to get a treat, I can remember the first bag of M&Ms I ever got.
Wow.
And it was my mom's friend, Charlotte. who brought them over one day when she came over to fix Mama's hair in the kitchen, a kitchen beautician.
Of course. down south, hell
chain
yeah.
smoking with hairspray and aerosol everywhere in
how
a
you
trailer.
Surprised that they didn't explode.
I know, near a gas stove. What's going on here? And she gave us, and there were the brown bags at the time. It was the little one with that. They only made regular M&Ms back then. They didn't make the peanut. And I can remember the taste of it. And I can remember another time when Mama had some ice cream in the freezer that none of us knew about. We weren't allowed.
Yeah, because you were psychics. You knew where that stuff was.
Well, we weren't allowed to go in the kitchen because Bobby tried to burn the trailer down. Not once, but twice.
That's another show.
And so she pulled it out, and it was freezer burned all to hell.
But it still tastes good, I'm sure.
It was ice cream.
Hello.
It was summertime. And she sat us out under the tree with 3 spoons, and that was heaven on earth. And I could see how happy she was that we were happy. And so that's,
Yeah, milk. Anything from the breast, milk,
ice
cream,
gravy,
cheese, gravy. Any of that
biscuits,
sweet kind of creamy texture. That's it.
I grew up. My dad owned a grocery store, so I had every candy.
And my grandparents owned a grocery store. And my other grandparents owned a candy store.
Oh wow!
I mean, one day it occurred to me, oh my God, everybody.
That's why they're my friends. I have a lot of friends.
Family that would rob those places, but
well, thank you, Eddie.
Well, we have about 5 more minutes.
No.
I can't believe this hour. We've actually went over, and we have about 5 more minutes. But September, October 30th, we're going to have Voxx back
to do what?
To have a seance.
A real one.
A real one.
No kidding, guys.
Yes, and so could you explain so we can give them some teasers of what a seance and what might occur?
Well, a seance, I used to know the actual root of that word. It's a French word. And the idea is you get people together. They could hold hands or not. If they hold hands, then everybody generates that energy. And with that intensified energy, you kind of drop down deep into yourself and you pick up on what other spirits have to say. Now, interesting enough, I have a thing called the Seance Meetup. It's called Psychic Seance Meetup.com. And I offer really affordable sessions for people. Like private, I charge much more money for that because it's a lot of intense energy. But I've started letting people in, and they can pay one, and the other person can come for free and go around the whole circle. And I recorded the last one, and I record actually most of them. And it blows my mind because every person around the corner, all right, your grandfather, World War II, and this and that. I mean, come on, really? I mean, like 100% just going around. And first off, knowing that you're connecting to that person. And that person says, all right, I want to talk to so-and-so. Just the first name, last initial. I don't want to know anything else. If you might have their birthday, that might be helpful.
Yeah, it is for me.
But that's it. And then just saying, all right, what do you want to know? And they can ask internally or externally. So they can know that I'm not just going to pull rabbit out of the hat.
Right.
Just like, how much stuff can dead people really tell you? Their whole life is a hologram.
Yeah.
It's already been completely lived. Most likely you know everything that happened or somebody does. So to fill in the blanks for people, and then I say, does that make sense to you? They go, yeah. And go around the whole circle, like 5 women. And it freaks me out. I mean, just so much specific stuff. I see another person in the same group. And these are young women. And I saw a woman from a concentration camp. That's not something I really want to see. And she goes, yeah, that's my grandmother. And her dead grandmother was talking to the dead guy across the table. And they started having a conversation.
Wow.
I'm like, that was weird. And say dead people, I hate to refer to them as dead people, but they are departed. And they only have a certain amount of information that they can give you. And usually it's, I love you, I miss you, I'm happy or I'm unhappy.
And don't be sad.
Don't be sad. And the money's in the back drawer at Martha's house. And that
I
little
wish they'd do that to me.
Oh, seriously, I'm not
There's
even
got to
kidding.
be money there.
If there's money and you need to find the money, I'm not kidding you. I've done that, and I'm not claiming how amazing I am. I'm just saying, thank God.
It's a reality.
Thank God to the highest and the Creator for that ability. Thank you very much. I'm never ever get pompous about it because it's a gift, and it will just blow your mind. And the biggest one that I've ever done was, check this out, a 16-year-old birthday party. They wanted me to do a seance.
Wow.
They invited, and I've got the tapes, and I got to find some of the cards for this, and I got to render it. Maybe I'll come over here and do it. 24 kids.
Oh my God.
Lord.
And I divided them into 2 groups of 12. The other group had to be really quiet on the other side. That was a feat right there. So the 12 people sat right there, and I had the cameras on. I go, okay, started just to the left, went all the way around to the right. And at some point, please give me a break. You got to be wrong sometime. But if you're real and you're really doing it, it's almost more ridiculous that you wouldn't get it. So I said, like, number 9 or something, this guy, this really cute little young guy. And he says, what's about Eric? And I just told him what a tragedy had happened to Eric, and you know how he died, and it was not on purpose. He was in a terrible car crash. I'm describing the whole thing. How the heck would I know? And everybody just, you could just, you know, heard a pin drop on the floor. The final one was the wife of the host. And I just said, hey, come on, you know, I'll just do a little thing. And I said, so who's Herschel? That's my grandfather. I'm like, what's up with Herschel and the peacock feathers? I don't know, but he had a huge urn of peacock feathers. He was from Turkey, and he just loved those, and he wouldn't even let anybody touch him. And I was like, okay, thanks, Herschel. And to this day, I have a peacock feather in the back of my car. You know, just in his honor. It's just like so weird. I mean, what are the odds? There are no odds. Eddie knows that there's no odds. Yeah. Any psychic can be fallible. My thing is, I don't believe a word I'm saying. I just know that I've studied. I know that God has given me that gift. And why would God let me be wrong? Why would he do that? Even if nobody was paying me, why would he let me be wrong and lead somebody down the wrong path, or like not allow them to achieve some kind of sense of communion, or the fact that, yeah, there is life after death. If there wasn't, I don't think there would even be Christianity. That one of the huge tenets of Christianity, in particular Catholicism, is that Jesus rose on the 3rd day. Where did he go? It's either reincarnation or uplifting to heaven, whatever. So it doesn't matter if you're a pagan, whatever religion you are,
or atheist,
Christian or atheist. These stories have meaning and they resonate with us. And I'm willing to say that they're true. Oh, let's find out. Let's ask a good question. What would you want to know?
We have 1 minute.
Okay, let's do it.
Do it.
So, is there really reincarnation?
Oh,
come on, seriously.
Yes,
we know that. And
Yeah.
what's this whole deal about, like the spirit living forever? Let's just check. Reincarnation? Oh my God!
Oh my! You
got the death card. Okay, so you don't resurrect without dying, but the death card is Scorpio, and it means that things continually transform. The moon card on the bottom indicates the great travel of the spirit. Okay, and as far as spirit living past, I'm going to say absolutely. You got the Libra card, the Alpha and the Omega, and this is very much the whole idea of what Jesus and as Christ was talking about. Forever, it's always coming in or it's going out. So, and I'm a skeptic, and I would say, hey, really?
Ebb and flow, coming in, coming out.
Unbelievable, and totally at random, and that's a heavy duty question to ask in 1 minute.
Wow. So October the 30th, we're doing a seance
right
with
here.
Voxx. And you can find out more at voxthepsychic.com, which is VOX. thepsychic.com. And you can go to Voxx, which is VOX.org. I'm Eddie Connor.
I'm Tony Sweet.
And I'm Voxx the Psychic, and check us out.
And if you missed this episode, if you tuned in halfway through, make sure you can go to iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, now iHeartRadio, and watch the video on YouTube. And you're going to stick around because Eddie and I get to interview Eric Von Daniken. You might know him from Ancient Aliens, and he wrote the book Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's going to be a great interview. So stick around. We thank you guys and appreciate you, and see you next week.